Released in 1986 for the Sega Master System, Astro Warrior is a fast-paced, space-themed shoot-'em-up that offers a solid, albeit basic, experience for fans of the genre. While it may not have the depth or complexity of later classics, it still holds a certain charm with its straightforward gameplay and simple mechanics. At its core, Astro Warrior is a horizontal scrolling shooter where you control a spaceship and must destroy waves of enemy ships, asteroids, and other obstacles. The game is split into levels that get progressively harder, with the intensity ramping up as you advance. The shooting mechanics are simple yet effective, with the ship firing straight ahead in rapid bursts. There's also a limited selection of power-ups to help you along the way, including shields and upgraded weapons. The main gameplay loop involves dodging incoming enemy fire, collecting power-ups, and taking out enemies before they overwhelm you. While the level design is fairly standard, it does provide an enjoyable sense of progression as you defeat bosses at the end of each stage. The power-ups are dropped by certain enemies or appear as floating icons that you must collect by flying over them. They come in different forms, offering boosts to your ship's weaponry or defensive capabilities. Weapon upgrades improve your ship's primary weapons, allowing you to fire faster or in a wider spread. At times, you might be able to get a multi-shot upgrade that lets you hit multiple enemies in a single burst. Some power-ups provide a temporary shield, allowing you to withstand a few hits without taking damage. This becomes especially useful when you find yourself surrounded by enemies or when facing off against tougher foes. Speed power-ups allow you to move more quickly, which can help you avoid enemy fire and improve your reaction time in the more frantic stages. The power-ups are limited and become more crucial as the difficulty ramps up, so strategically collecting and conserving them becomes key to survival as the stages progress. The visuals of Astro Warrior are typical of the time, offering bright, colourful sprites and basic background designs. While the space setting doesn't push the graphical capabilities of the Master System to their limits, it provides a solid and functional aesthetic that suits the gameplay. The spaceship and enemy designs are simple but effective, and there's a nice variety of enemies to keep things interesting. The music in Astro Warrior is catchy, with an energetic and fast-paced soundtrack that complements the action. The sound effects are basic, but do the job of communicating key gameplay moments, like shooting or the destruction of enemies. Though it's nothing revolutionary, the sound design is competent and does a good job of immersing you in the space combat setting. The difficulty of Astro Warrior can be a bit unforgiving, especially as the stages progress. Enemies become faster, smarter, and more numerous, and the limited continues can add a layer of frustration for players who are not used to the tough difficulty of 80s-era shooters. However, this also gives the game a sense of challenge that will appeal to players who enjoy a good test of their reflexes and precision. While Astro Warrior doesn't offer a huge amount of depth in terms of story or gameplay variety, it remains fun for short bursts of play. The addictive nature of the gameplay and the challenge of progressing through the levels offer decent replayability, especially if you're aiming for high scores. Astro Warrior is a solid space shooter that may not stand out as a genre-defining classic, but it remains a fun and challenging experience for fans of retro shooters. Its simple gameplay, solid visuals, and catchy music make it an enjoyable title for short sessions, though its difficulty may prove frustrating for some players. If you're a fan of old-school space shooters, or simply looking for a nostalgic blast from the past, Astro Warrior is worth checking out.